everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie from the Farmhouse Mom, and I upload every Tuesday and Friday. In today's video, I am going to take you through a beautiful sunny weekend that we had on the farm. We got a lot done, got to do some fun creative things. I got to make a new soap that I've never made before and I've always wanted to make. But we have had a few 70-degree days. It has been wonderful. I hope the weather is good where you are. We finally got our Christmas decorations down from the front porch, and I got quite a few decorations for the front porch thrift shopping last week. I've got some new flowers that I think will look really pretty for the wreaths, and I'm just excited for spring to be here, even though I know it's going to be another couple of months. We did run out of hay. We planned on stocking up for the whole winter, but it just didn't work out, so we had to run and go get some more hay. And here is Jackson, 5 years old, doing what he can to help out on the farm. He's such a hard worker. We're so lucky to have him. We are right in the thick of kidding season. So right now on the farm, it's kind of all goat all the time. We have chores in the morning and chores in the evening. And then of course my 13 little baby goats are still small, and so we are still bottle feeding them. So it's quite the time investment, but we really enjoy having it. I think it's really great for the kids. And just for myself personally, I love my Nigerian dwarf goats, and we are enrolled in several performance programs with the American Dairy Goat Association. So we do milk test, which records the amount of milk that each doe gives. And then also we do linear appraisal, where a judge comes out and looks at our goats and kind of gives them a score. So my goal as a goat herder is to provide wonderfully correct, beautiful dairy goats that milk a lot of milk. So when someone comes to buy a goat from me, I want them to be a great animal that's going to be healthy and that will give a lot of milk for their family. So I know how much we enjoy it as a family. It's very bonding to do the chores together, and everybody loves the goats. But also it's just so healthy. The goat milk is so healthy, and we're able to use it so many different ways, and we just really, really enjoy having them. My herd is so wonderful this year. I have several girls that are milking over half a gallon a day, which is a lot for a small dairy goat, and most of our milk is going back to these little guys, where we are having to feed them 3 times a day, but I am having a little bit left over for customers and for ourselves. So out of the 13 baby goats that we've had so far, I am keeping or retaining 3 of the girls. So this is the little beauty that I showed you about 3 weeks ago. Her and her little tiny sister and tiny brother were in that little orange tub by the fireplace, but she is eating so much. She's double the size of her brothers and sisters, and she is really, really beautiful. So I'm very excited about her and her future. I think she will be a wonderful milker. And this is my star milker. Her name is Dragon Baby, and she is giving over half a gallon a day, and she's very young. This is only her 2nd time she's had babies, so I'm so proud of her. She's doing such a great job, and I'm keeping 1 of her babies. I'd like to keep all 4 of them, but you know, if I did that, I would have 500 goats. So we had so much sun and wind, and it dried up all of the mud, so we were able to do chores on the farm. And one of the chores, which is probably not my favorite, and as you can tell by the way Dragon Baby is kicking, it is not their favorite either, but everybody needed a hoof trim. So all 18 of the girls got a little pedicure. We still need to do the 2 boys. I'll have to do that this weekend, but they got a nice little pedicure, and they got extra grain while they were up on the stand. And we probably give the girls a hoof trim every 2 months. In the summertime, they're out quite a bit more on the gravel driveway, and they're more on rocks, where it kind of files their hooves down a little bit on their own, but in the wintertime, they're just on a soft field. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable and everything is clean and dry and they don't get any hoof rot. And also, it really affects the way their shoulders stand and just their comfort level. If you are standing in bad shoes, then it's not going to feel good, and it's the same thing for them. Since it is late winter, almost spring, the girls are starting to shed their coats. And so Nigerian dwarf goats, most goats, have cashmere underneath the top layer of hair. So they've got that top layer of hair, as you can see, like the thicker ones, and then underneath they have that very, very warm cashmere. So the ones that were really shedding got a nice brush down, and I was able to collect quite a bit of cashmere because I'm going to make soap with it. So that was a fun adventure, and I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. So half of our girls are adults and they've had babies before. That's kind of how you distinguish if they're adults or not. And half of the girls are little juniors. We call them junies. So the juniors have never had babies and they don't really understand how the stand works. All of the older girls know, jump up there and there's going to be some really great food. So we usually kind of have to wrestle with them a little bit. And as soon as they have babies, the first couple times you milk them, they understand, and then they just jump up there on their own. My husband is not a fan of the juniors because they are quite immature. They still act like babies. When you go inside the barnyard, they like to jump up on you and they'll kind of nip at you a little bit because they remember drinking out of the bottle. So they think you are their mom and they're always looking for more food, even though, you know, they're almost a year old. And they're just silly. They just haven't got a lot of maturity. So you have to have a little bit of patience with them. But it's still a fun time, and when they become moms, it's just so special to have a little baby goat that you've raised from birth, and then to be with her as she has her own little babies, and hopefully that daughter will be even better than the mother. That's the goal. You're always trying to produce a superior goat. They can be healthier, they can produce more milk, and just be an all-around great goat. That's what my herd goals are. This little girl is so pregnant. I've been going out and checking on her, and she is just huffing and puffing out in the barn. So I think she will be quite relieved when she has her first babies and gets that experience over with. I was very pleased. I was able to collect quite a bit of cashmere. I only brushed about half of the girls because some of them didn't have a lot of cashmere left. As soon as it gets warm, they start to rub their bodies against a tree or the fence, and they just want that itchy hair off of themselves, kind of like you and I would be when you go to get a haircut and you have like little bits of hair that fall on your neck. You just don't like that itchy sensation. So every year I always plan on going to collect the cashmere, and I always forget. So this year we had a beautiful 70-degree day, and I was bound and determined to get that cashmere and to make some soap with it. Also, because it was so warm, I was able to go meet with my ladies down at my building, and we were able to do a little workout. And I told them that I had made some cashmere soap that I wanted them to try, and they said, "What is that?" And so I explained that you can get the cashmere from the goats and you can put it in the lye solution and dissolve that really soft, luxurious fiber. You can do it with silk, you can do it with different fibers, and then that luxuriousness and the softness is melted into the soap. So you can see why I would be so excited to try that with my soap making. So I made a traditional goat milk soap that that I usually do. I actually used the recipe that I used 3 weeks ago, where I made it a coconut oil soap. I did the shea butter, the olive oil, and I also tried some sweet almond oil. I have used that before, but I used a little bit more than I usually do. Since I have never made cashmere soap before, I did a little research, and the method that I used was to put my water and lye in and get that nice and hot, and then I added my cashmere fibers. I did read that some people said that the fibers didn't melt all the way, and so I decided to use double the recommended amount. I made 2 batches of soap. The first batch I made, I added some white kaolin clay, and then the second batch I made, I added some green kaolin clay. So I prefer, when I'm making soaps for myself, I don't like a lot of colorant in it. So I do have the food safe and cosmetic safe mica, but I just feel like that's still just one extra thing that you're putting on your skin. And so this year, I think I'm just gonna make soaps that I think I will like myself. I do sell my soaps in the building that I own with my friend Leslie here in my small town. I had a couple people ask if I sell soaps. I don't sell soaps online just because I'm so busy with everything. I don't know if I could add one more thing to my plate. I think just making them for myself and then for my community is probably all I can handle right now. So here I am straining the cashmere and lye mixture, and you can see after I finish pouring all of it off that there are a little bit of remnants left there of the cashmere. So I think next time I do it, I think I will maybe use a little bit higher concentration of lye to see if I can get that melted down a little bit more. When I made the white kaolin clay, I noticed that there were a couple of spots left over from the cashmere, like maybe there was some parts I didn't get strained out, but on the green clay that I'm pouring right now, I don't really notice any spots where the cashmere was left undissolved. And that is one of the reasons why when I'm making a new soap, I usually make a very small batch, just in case something doesn't turn out, you don't waste a lot of ingredients. So here's the green soap. It is still curing. And this is the white kaolin clay soap. And I felt, when I looked really closely, I felt like I saw a couple of small spots where there might be a little bit of undissolved cashmere, but I'm going to use that and test it out and see how it feels. Thank you guys so much for joining me for weekend chores here on the farm. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see you Friday.